What is failure? Failure is the lack of success in an effort, a situation or occurrence in which things did not work out as planned. While this definition may technically be correct, I think as a society we tend to apply it incorrectly. We all need to fail. What's up, everyone? My name is Brian. I'm a small business owner, a real estate investor, and an avid side hustler. Welcome to my channel and my grocery store. We all want to be the main character of a success story, to see ourselves as the underdog, rising up to win against all the odds. No one wants to fail. It's not fun. It's embarrassing, it's humbling. In some cases, it's expensive. In other cases, it's very expensive. Our culture has taught us that failure is unacceptable. And because of that, we've been conditioned to be ashamed of our failures. When others appear to be doing better than us, it just compounds our desire to succeed, but also our fear of failing publicly. For a lot of us, that fear is paralyzing to the point of not taking any risks at all. But do you know what lies behind every single story of success? Failure. Stories of stumbling and falling and getting back up and trying again. So if failure is the backstory of success, why are we so afraid of it? Is it the potential loss of money, or is it the embarrassment of others seeing your idea not work out? Is it both of those, or is it something else altogether? Where is your fear coming from? I would like to propose that it isn't failure that keeps us from being successful. It's the fear of failure that holds us back. All successful people experience failure along the way, but it did not stop them from being successful. Fear, on the other hand, has a devastating impact on otherwise smart and creative and driven entrepreneurs. It has created an atmosphere of avoidance and procrastination in a group of people that should be revolutionizing the way things are done. But instead, they sit on the sidelines at their 9-to-5 job because it feels more secure. So how do you conquer the fear that has you on the sideline? Fear originates from different places and different people. Some of us are afraid of what other people will think, and some of us are afraid we're going to lose everything. You need to first determine what your fears are and then figure out where they're coming from. And once you've done that, you can begin to find a path around those fears, or maybe even straight through the middle of them. The moment that you learn how to navigate your fear is the moment that your success story starts. Those that have experienced any level of success have suffered setbacks and defeat time and time again all along the way. Take, for instance, one of the most famous stories of failure and success in history, Colonel Sanders of Kfc. Harlan Sanders, later to be known as Colonel Sanders, was a well-known hothead that lacked self-control. He bounced from job to job, being fired for insubordination and fighting at nearly every job he found. And he continued on that same path from the age of 16 until the age of 40, when he somehow convinced Shell Oil to let him run a service station rent-free in exchange for a percentage of his profits. This service station is where he built the reputation for his fried chicken. He sold it to people passing through on a busy highway that passed directly in front of his business. But in his mid-50s, his business was dealt a huge blow. That busy highway in front of his service station was abandoned when the interstate system was built. And this change redirected his potential customers to 7 miles away from his storefront. And this forced Sanders to close his business, putting an end to the nearly 20 years of success. With no income, very little savings, and a $105 monthly Social Security check, Colonel Sanders was back at square one. He and his new wife packed up everything they owned and headed off traveling across the United States. Living out of their car, they begged for money, they begged for food all along the way. They would visit restaurants unannounced and attempt to convince the owner to allow them to cook chicken for their employees. If the employees approved of the meal, he would suggest that the owner allow him to stay for a few days and cook for their customers. And if the customers responded positively to his recipe, he would attempt to negotiate a franchise deal with the store owner. He would offer them his chicken recipe in exchange for 4 cents for every chicken they sold. Legend has it that Colonel Sanders was told no 1,009 times before he got his first yes. By 1964, in only 5 years after he started, he had already inked 600 franchise deals. At the ripe old age of 74, he was able to sell KFC for $2 million. Factoring for inflation in 2021 dollars, that would be $19 million. So my question to you is, did Colonel Sanders fail? Certainly he experienced failure and he experienced hard times, but did he fail? History is full of stories like this. Some of the most successful people in history have had similar or even worse stories of failure. And the only reason we know their names today is because they did not accept that failure. They simply kept pushing until it turned into success. In my opinion, the only time you truly fail is once you've stopped trying. You will experience failure along the way. You will have to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get back to work. And you may only have to do it once, or you may have to do it 1,009 times. But you only fail once you quit trying. So make a plan, get out there and push and make something happen. It cannot happen on its own. Life is short. Do not sit on the sidelines too long. Eventually, time will run out.
Colonel Sanders, did your chicken make you a wealthy man?
Well, fairly. After I started franchising, I started franchising when I was 66 years old. Now that's an advantage again. Don't quit because you're 65, because you can do something quite worthwhile after that.
Old person, my foot. How old are you?
Well, I'll be 81 my next birthday now.
I suspect you're coming up with something new.
Well, I hope to be doing something, because I don't believe in ever stopping, because you'll rust out blame sight quicker than you'll wear out, and there's always something to be done.